everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Sharon and this is a channel that is dedicated to all things related to narcissism. I want to begin today's video by apologizing for never having put out a Sharon and Joe show on Monday. Joe and I had our date night. We made our video on Saturday night. It was a 35-minute video. We had a video. We had our Dunkin' Donuts, the unofficial sponsor of the Sharon and Joe show, and we were ready to go. Made the video. I got up early Monday morning. You guys know I'm up in the middle of the night editing or making videos. So I was editing the video, and editing videos takes an abnormally long amount of time. It is tedious drudgery is how I would describe it. But I got it done, especially with a 35-minute video. The editing process takes hours. So I got it done. I even had a half an hour to spare before I had to go to work. At that point, I listened to the video. Now, I always try to listen to my video as soon as possible when it's up, because if there's an issue, I want to know about it as soon as possible. Well, there was an issue on Monday's video. I hear my intro, and that was it. The rest of the video was silent. I could see the pictures, but I could hear nothing. So at that point, the half hour I had to spare was not enough time. So I wrote in the community page that I had a video. I was going to release it later. Well, then I went to release it later and I lost the video. I record on my phone, I edit on my phone, and then once that's done, I transfer it over to my laptop and release it from there. Well, I must have, see, I'm always having an issue with my phone because I have so many videos and photos. I'm constantly deleting stuff so I have room. I had to have mistakenly deleted the Sharon and Joe show. So there is no video for the Sharon and Joe show this week. It is gone in internet land. I don't know where it is, but I am going to talk on today's video about what we discussed on Saturday. Oh, I say Saturday, we recorded on Saturday, but on Monday's video. On the video we had made that never will be released, Joe was talking about something that had happened to him that is devastating. The reality for all of us is that once you've been with a narcissist, and I do think, unfortunately, the longer you've been with a narcissist, the worse this generally is. The narcissist has these tentacles that can reach out and seemingly grab you at any time. Joe and I are at the point now where we're divorced from our exes. We're free. We're starting a life over. But there's a cost to freedom, and there is just, it almost feels like in some ways, like we're just dragging the narcissist behind us wherever we go. They can pop up at any time. And if you're not careful, if you don't have a good mindset, it can really take you down. So I'm going to tell you what happened to Joe's story, and talk a little bit about this tactic used by narcissists in general. Some of you know that Joe was laid off last year. Joe is an insurance agent. He sells home and, what does he say? Home and casual, or I can't remember what it was. He sells auto and home insurance, essentially. That's my version of saying it. He got laid off and he's been trying to find a new job. Now he's putting out applications. He got hired a couple places. He turned one place down, another place that he really wanted to work at. He got hired, and all he had to do was wait for the background check to go through. This is where the narcissist gets involved. I'm going to tell you this straight up. If you are involved with a narcissist and you're just learning about narcissism, what I'm going to tell you might sound crazy. It is so true. It is so real. I can't tell you how many people have told me this happened to them. This happened to me as well, and we'll get into that. But especially if you are a man and you are with a female narcissist. Now, men do this too. Like I said, my own ex did, but you are in danger if you are a man and you're with a female narcissist. They can, they will, they do use the police against you. They don't have any problem lying. They will say whatever they have to say to get you in trouble. Now, this happened to me. It happened to Joe. So many people told me this has happened to them. Actually, I'm going to link a video down below. It's one of my more popular videos about when I was almost arrested by the police because my ex lied about me. Narcissists will use any way to get rid of you. And a woman has such an advantage over a man when it comes to the police. The reality is, if you are a man and a woman accuses you of violence, you will be arrested. You will be arrested. You might spend time in jail. You might spend lengthy time in jail. You might spend a couple days, a couple hours, whatever it is going to affect your life, possibly forever. Now, this happened to Joe several times. His ex called the police. Now, there was at one point, you guys, like, this is the type of thing a narcissist does, right? And it's painful for me to, like, even this didn't happen to me, but I can feel this. So Joe and his ex would get into these issues. They had these arguments. They would break up. They were on and off type of thing. Well, at one point, she had a restraining order against him, and then she invited him over. And she said she wanted to work on things. He comes over. She goes in the other room, calls the police, and says he's breaking their restraining order. Now, she invited him over, and now he's breaking the restraining order. He gets hauled back off to jail. He got arrested at his work one time. He's gotten arrested at home a few times. The narcissist, his ex, would just call the police. And I'm telling you, the bigger person will get arrested. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that there's no bruises. It doesn't matter that nothing's out of place. It doesn't matter that it doesn't seem real. If the accusation is there, you will be hauled away. My ex, the last night we were together, he tried to get me arrested, and he was hurting himself. He was banging his own head on the wall. He insisted to the police when I called them that I had abused him, that he did, he did this he did this in front of his own kids. All right. So I was there. My two kids were there. We all saw my ex hurting himself. So he was trying to tell the police, despite what my kids and I told them, that yes, I had actually lifted him up. Now, you guys, the size difference between my ex and I, he's 3 times my size. He's pushing 300 pounds. I'm around 100 pounds. He literally told them that I picked him up and threw him into a wall. If I wanted to, and believe me, yes, I have wanted to. If I wanted to do that, there would never have been a chance for me to do it. I just couldn't have lifted him up. That is the only thing that kept me from going to jail. The absurdity of the size difference, and a policeman told me that they didn't want to leave my kids alone with my ex. They didn't trust him. They remembered him from the guy who had been at the house with a loaded gun. So I wasn't arrested. You guys, when I tell you that I wasn't arrested, I've told other people this, my attorney, my pastor, Joe, they can't believe I wasn't arrested. The police told me that when someone accuses you of domestic violence, they basically arrest and sort it out later. Well, the problem with that, there's many problems with that. One of the problems is now you have a record. Now it affects you, even if, like for Joe, he was in jail. Now I feel like I'm telling you, I hope I'm telling you this right. It was 3 or 4 times. He was arrested, thrown in jail with no reason. There was no bruises. There was like no broken glass everywhere. It was just, this is what he did. They hauled him away, and every single time he had to hire a lawyer. It had to get plead down, plea it down. So it's a misdemeanor. He did spend, I think he said, a week in jail at one point, but there was no conviction, right? It wasn't real. It was not a conviction. But he still has to pay $5,000 for a lawyer. He's spending time in jail. He's losing time with work. He's embarrassed in front of his neighbors, in front of his coworkers. All these things are happening. And now, after he gets laid off, so Joe was laid off and he's trying to find a new job, the background check of the job he got. So he got his dream job. All right, he got the job he really, really wanted with the insurance company he wanted. They hired him and said this was pending a background check. Well, the background check took a long time to come back. Joe was starting to get worried the last few weeks. He's like, this isn't good. I know it isn't good. Comes back, and the job offer was rescinded because of the background check. On it, he had several misdemeanors, which are lies that the narcissist told about him. And because of that, he wasn't hired. They took his job away from him. And I'm going to tell you, the devastation of that, it has been very difficult. Joe and I, and believe me, when I tell you this, I'm not saying, oh, boo-hoo us, because I don't feel that way. We're starting over, and that's difficult. It just is. We are starting over in our 40s from the ground zero, essentially. We were wiped out financially. Our children have been devastated by this. We have been devastated. We're starting over. Getting ourselves on our feet financially is very important. I work 2 jobs now. Joe works all day, every day, 7 days a week doing manual labor so that we can pay the bills. Now, we're both working, but still, when I see Joe every day and he gets up, a lot of his friends are in construction and painting and that type of thing. He's essentially doing hard manual labor all day long. He comes home and you guys, the weight of the weight of the labor, it's on him. Like it pains me to see him leave. And when he comes home, it's hard work. And to think, finally he got this job that he really wanted. Finally, he doesn't have to get up 7 days a week early in the morning to go to do grudgery, right? And the thing is, at the same time I say this, Joe has never once complained, ever, not once. On the video that we made, he wasn't complaining. He's telling you, look, this happens. You have to be prepared for it. You have to understand the narcissist will always try to get you. They're almost like, what are those? Those, I can't even think what they're called. I don't want to mess up the video. Those bombs that they plant underground and people, during wars, they'll walk over them and they'll get blown up like 20 years later. I can't think what it's called, but it's like that with a narcissist, right? They have these little bombs planted everywhere and you never know when you're going to step on one. So Joe got laid off, right? It's a bad time. People get laid off. Then he tries to get another job and boom, the narcissist is right there to make sure he doesn't get it. That's what narcissists do. They love to mess with us. And there never comes a time, there's never a time the narcissist will say, you know what, just let it go. I'm going to start my life over too. No, they are hell-bent on revenge. The longer you've been with a narcissist, the more they want to hurt you. It is incredible. Now, my story, I have an ex story too that happened recently that I'll tell you about that's very frustrating. This is another thing. It seems like it's never over. It's your mindset that has to change. Some of you may know that my ex emails my son once a week. He's allowed to email him once a week. My son does not need to reply to him. He doesn't. He hasn't replied to him. There's zero communication. So I get this email from my ex yesterday, and I guess it was Monday, and he said to me that he just sent our son an email, and he sent me this message that came with it, and it said something like, the recipient's email, the inbox is full. It can't accept any more emails right now. So he's immediately, right away, is starting to threaten me. Sharon, I sent this email. It got kicked back to me as per our agreement. I'm allowed to email him 1 time a week, and you can't keep him from me. And I want you to find out right now what's going on with the email address. Is that his right email address? If it isn't, I need to know immediately. I'm going to get our lawyers involved, and they're going to have to go back and forth, and this is going to cost more money. I mean, it was literally the kid's email. His inbox is full, and he's flipping out. So I ignored it because I'm no contact. He sends me another one yesterday. I sent you an email yesterday, Sharon. You better get on this. This is going to cost us money, and I'm going to get on it right now, and that your lawyer's going to be contacting you, blah, blah, blah. It's the same old thing. It's like you're living your life, and bam. Now, granted, my thing is a lot less than Joe's. Like, he just had something major happen. But it's just like these examples, right? Like something little for me, something big from Joe. Maybe next time it's something big for me or big for you. The reality is that, and and Joe and I have talked about this many times, there are people that don't get out. There are people that are just forever destroyed because of the narcissist. They don't speak anymore. Their life is literally over. Here we are, all of us right now, no matter what's going on in your life. If you're hearing me right now, you're awake today, you're alive today, you have an opportunity to have the life of your dreams. We have all been just destroyed by the narcissist. I mean, they eat us alive. I mean, they just do. I feel like that sometimes. They'll just keep going until there's nothing left of us, and then they'll go on to another victim. But we are only victims if we let ourselves be victims. We have every opportunity, you guys, and it's so frustrating. It really is. I get it. Joe and I get so frustrated. You guys, there is nothing more that we want right now than to move on with our life, to live our life, to get married and have our family and just be together and be done with all this stuff. But we can't do that until more things are settled between the narcissists. We're both trying to sell houses. Well, Joe isn't selling his house yet. I'm trying to sell a house. We're dealing with the kids. And actually, what we're going to talk about on Monday's video, the Sharon and Joe show, assuming it comes out, Joe's been having some issues with his older son, and there's been some things connected. I don't want to say too much right now, but there's been some things connected to him, his older son, that affects everyone in the house. So we're going to talk a little bit about that on Sunday, because the reality is, like I said, whether you're talking about, narcissists with police or anything else, there are long-term ramifications to having been with a narcissist. And very unfortunately, for those of us with children, the children are always affected. But it's our attitude that can get us to the next place, that can get us to a better place, that can get you to the future that you dream of. There were many times, you guys, when I was finding out about narcissism, where I didn't think I was going to be able to make it through. Joe will tell you right now, today, he can't believe he made it through. So many people have gone through that, but it seems like in a lot of ways, when something really bad happens to you, you can appreciate when something really good happens to you. So never give up if something goes wrong. If like what happened with Joe, he could easily have been like, just forget it. This sucks. Like, life's horrible. I can't deal with this anymore. But instead, Joe took a day and just didn't do anything. Then he did a rebuttal. He went back, he emailed the person connected to this job and told them what had happened, and we're waiting to see what happens. I guess there's a chance that he'll still get offered the job, but all we can do in life is well, that's a horrible way for me to say what I'm about to say, all we can do. What we should do in life: stay close, stay connected to God, and move forward in an intentional way every single day, living your life the best that you can, being the best person that you can be. And it does get better. And when you have an attitude like that, when you have a positive attitude, when bad things happen, you're able to look at it and it's more of a manageable meal to chew, if you want to put it that way. Narcissists always want to hurt us, no matter where we are in the entanglement, but you have the power to get yourself out, and you have the power to decide how you're going to live your life. When we were with the narcissist, we didn't know any better. I didn't know I was with a narcissist. I didn't know. It was almost like, well, not almost, this is what it was. I was living my life, and I had no idea what life I was living. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who I was with. I knew nothing. I mentioned in a video recently, I'll look at pictures of my kids from way back when, before we knew about narcissism, and they're pictures that they're painful for me to look at, because it's like before the storm, before we knew, we were innocent. We didn't know what danger we were in. But so many of us have gotten out. And I'll tell you, if Joe can get out, if I can get out, anybody can get out. So if you're still with a narcissist, never give up hope. Never, never, never give up hope. Your whole life depends on you holding hope, you moving forward, doing it even when it's difficult. And when something bad happens, take some time to feel bad for a little bit or get angry. But after that, roll your sleeves up, grit your teeth, and move forward. It is the only way, it's the best way, and it works. So thank you for listening to this video, and I am sorry about Monday's video. I will be back on Friday, so if you have any video ideas, let me know. I'm thinking about bringing Paris on, because Paris and I have some really good, funny conversations about the ex, about the narcissist, and I'd love to have a conversation with her where we're kind of joking and laughing, because we have a good time, and I think that it will help somebody else feel better too. When you can laugh about it, it puts your healing on a whole new level. So thank you so much, you guys. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Hopefully this video, you can hear it, and I will see you on Friday. God bless everybody.